when I was growing up, we used to go down to Mexico a lot because our house was only 45 minutes away from the border. And so the Mexican culture was a large part of my upbringing. And I really learned to appreciate it. I do remember going down to Tijuana. We called it TJ, and that's where we would go to the bakeries and get these amazing cookies and pastries and all this other stuff. But most of the time we would drive through TJ and down to Rosarito and sometimes onto Ensenada, and both of those are coastal towns. My favorite part of going down there growing up was to go down for the lobster meals. So you would see these guys coming in from the ocean on their boats with the lobster. You would order your lobster meal, and everyone at the table would get their own lobster fresh out of the ocean. And then they would like just cover the table with your tortillas and rice and beans and salsas. And I mean, I'm telling you, the works. I loved it. Okay. And so one year we went for my birthday. And the one thing I wasn't a big fan of growing up, which has changed now in my life, but when I was younger, I wasn't a big fan of the mariachi bands. Okay. And so one year I wanted to go down for my birthday, but I told my dad, I said, I just don't want the band to come over and sing happy birthday to me. So of course he waves them over. This is my dad for you. And he gives them this huge tip. And of course, when you give them a huge tip, what are they going to do? Stick around and sing more. So they played like 3 more songs after they sang happy birthday. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh, Dad, I just want the food. I don't want the music. But here I was, you know, a little middle schooler, right? So anyway, another thing that we would do is outside of the restaurant, when we were done, we would walk around and the locals would have these booths set up, and they would come and bring all these souvenirs and things that you could buy. And one of my favorite things to do was to go over to the booths and negotiate prices. And you guys, in other parts of the world, negotiating a price on a product is actually common practice. And so I just thought that that was so much fun. It was such a neat thing to get involved with. And then I will tell you, as I got older, we would go down and we would, biannually, there was a bike ride from Rosarito to Ensenada. It was 50 miles on a mountain bike. You'd start on the coast, and I remember the local kids would show up, and we would bring bags and bags of candy, and we put it on our bike, and at the beginning, the first few miles, the kids would be standing on the side of the road holding out their hands, dulces, dulces, and we're like, so we'd throw them the candy, and then we would ride, we'd dip back inland a little bit, and I remember like just driving through or riding through all of the farms and seeing the countryside, and there were some pretty major hills on this bike ride, and then you'd finally get down into Rosarito, and again, you're back by the coast. It was just such a fun time. So just great fond memories of our, just having Mexico there.